All right, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Mass Ranker back again with another ranking, and today we are doing a ranking for the Bear characters. This is up to Season 4 because that is the current season that is out as of the current day, and probably when Season 5 comes out, I will probably end up doing an update video for any new characters or how any characters may shift in the rankings. But yeah, so anyway, we are doing a ranking for all the characters in the Bear, and I got a pre-existing tier list, but then I did add some characters that were added in the later seasons. So this should be about everyone from the show. I don't think I missed it. I mean, I think I missed stuff. Like there's some characters that were not that important that I did not end up including. So. And I do have the names up here. So with all that said, let us just get into it. Starting off with Carmen, who I would probably give A tier. I think that he is a good lead. I do enjoy following him along and the struggles that he faces throughout the show. I do think that probably the main thing holding him back is I would say that he really doesn't seem to learn his lessons. Like even towards Season 4 at the end, it feels like he's saying how he needs to remove himself in order for the bear to thrive and stuff. But then Sid and Richie, they're both upset at him. But this is the exact thing that was the problem, I feel like, throughout the entire show, where it's he was leaving instead of confronting his issues. Like when he left during Mikey's funerals, when Mikey died, he ended up leaving and putting himself he's basically afraid of success and good things happening and stuff. So, and that's the main thing that I feel is holding him back. It's a struggle that he has, it feels like. So, it's a character flaw, but it is one that I don't really like about him. But yeah, he's still an A tier character. I still think that Jeremy Allen White, I think all the actors of this show do a fantastic job with all the characters, and I do think that Jeremy Allen White does a great job. He is still very entertaining. His relationship with Claire, his relationship with his mother, his relationship with just anyone like Sid or Richie at the Bear. I think that overall he is a great character, and so I would say A tier, good protagonist. Also, we're doing this we'll do the side style like this. I'm trying to do more side style rankings instead of just doing group style and then at the end doing side style. So I'm going to try to do side style as we go along with this. So this is Chester. I think this is just a friend of Marcus. I don't really care for him. I think towards Season 4, he's basically just the friend of Marcus. He's not the sharpest guy, I think. And I think towards the end of Season 4, for some reason, he was just jealous of Luca, that Marcus had another friend. And so I didn't really care for him. He didn't show too much throughout. He didn't show up too much throughout the show. So yeah, I include this tier is D, F, and question mark because there are certain characters here that I just completely don't remember. So Claire, I'm going to give Claire I'm going to give her either B or A tier, and I am going to say I'll go B tier for now. I'm going to be a bit harsh. I do think that she is a good character, but then the main thing is that her entire personality kind of is centered around Carmen. Without Carmen, her character is mainly just meant to be the love interest for Carmen. There is one scene I think in Season 4 where she does end up helping to console Sid when her father has the heart attack and she's in the hospital. So I do think that is good, but overall I do still think that a bit too much of her character is centered around Carmen. I do like her relationship with Carmen, not even in a romantic sense, but also it's just first they end up they start dating, but then Carmen, because of the personal issues he has, he kind of pushes her away, but then now slowly they're kind of getting back on good terms and stuff, and I am interested to see what happens in Season 4. So overall, I would say that she's a B tier character. I do not remember who this is at all, so I am just gonna say I think he's just one of the workers at the Bear that doesn't really have a name and is not really prominent in the show. So I'm just gonna put him in question mark tier. So Donna, Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm gonna give her I would say A tier above Carmen. I like her a bit better than Carmen. I really like the you are introduced to her first in the I think it was Fishes in Season 2. It was the episode where the Christmas dinner episode with all of the Berzatos, and she's this woman that is very crazy and stuff, and it's she does not she is very not in the right state of mind, and she definitely has personal issues going on, and she takes it out on her family. But then as the show progresses, it's yeah, both Natalie and Carmen, that they don't really want to see her and stuff. And she also, I think she has one of the best scenes in the show where at the end of, I think it's at the end of Season 2, when she's outside of the Bear, and then then Pete comes outside because he sees her, and then he's saying no, come in, it's all great, look how successful your children are, and she's really just trying to hold back her tears, basically saying how it's she doesn't want to get involved because she ruined so much she ruined so much from her of stuff of her children's lives, like in the past, that she does not want to get involved out of fear of ruining this as well. So I do think that that was a great scene, and overall her character is good. I do think that the episode with her and Natalie, it went on for way too long. It was like 40 something minutes in season 3, and that's one of my least favorite episodes of the show. But overall, I do think that she's still a good character. I really like the emotional scene at the end of season 4, that when she actually like apologizes to Carmen. I think that overall she is a great character. So A tier once again. Jamie Lee Curtis does a great, I think again, every actor just does a great job in this show. So yeah, this is Ibram, right? I think I'm getting that right. Let's see here. Yeah, Ibram. Let's see. Yeah, I am getting that right. I would give him like, I'll go like B tier of, I don't know, I'll say like B tier below Claire. Like he's good. He basically is the one that's like, he's running the side window of the Bear, where it's like he's basically running the beef still, and he is trying to generate profits for the actual Bear restaurant by continuing the beef at the side window. And it is kind of interesting where it's like he's trying to create opportunity, like create a business and be successful, like to help out the Bear. And he does end up meeting, I forgot the dude's name. It was, I'll check here. Let's see here. He's a recurring character in season 3, I think. What's his name? Yeah, Albert Schnur. He ends up meeting Albert Schnur, and then this dude is like now trying to help himself. Sorry, just a second. There's my phone is like about to die, so I have to put it on low power mode so the recording doesn't just stop or anything. So yeah, so I do think that Ibram is good, where it's like he has this side business going on, and so he's still kind of like keeping the beef alive, which it's nice that they didn't completely forget about it. So yeah, overall, like, B tier character. He's not that, you don't see too much of him, but the bits that you do see of him are good, I will say. He did have that whole thing where it's like he did try to go to culinary school, but it's like he couldn't succeed there, so I didn't care for any of that, but yeah. So I'll say like B tier. Neil, this is Neil Fack, and I will give him, I'm gonna go with A tier. I'll go like, do I like him a bit better than, no, I'm not gonna say better than Carmen, but I do think that he is great. He is a very fun character. He is like kind of meant to be the comic relief of the show. Like he's meant to be the one that's like, you know, all the scenes with him are entertaining and funny and stuff. And I do think that his character achieves that successfully. I do think that it is very entertaining anytime that he is on screen. And yeah, the way that Natalie calls him, I forgot, Natalie calls him baby or sweet or something like that. Like they all treat him like this very lovable guy, and yeah, he is a very lovable guy, I'd say. So A tier. This is Sweeps, and I'm going to give him probably similar to Ibrahim, maybe a bit of about the same. I don't really think one is necessarily better than the other, but they're kind of both in the. I'll say I think I like Sweeps's, I don't know, his personality maybe a bit more because he's a bit more youthful, but yeah, they're about the same. I do think that he's similar, where it's like he's just kind of off doing his own like side mission thing, where he is learning about wines and stuff to help out the Bear, and so I'll say he's a bit more interesting because he does. I think, I don't know, the wine thing, it's a bit more interesting than the beef, where it's like, I think mainly just what I said about like his personality. His personality is just a bit more like youthful and stuff. So because of that, I just think he's slightly better than Ibram. What else? This is Joel McHale's character. I forgot his name though. He's not a main character. I'm pretty sure he's a recurring character. Here, Joel McHale, David Fields. Yeah, David Fields. I will give him A tier. And I'm going to say A tier, low A tier. He doesn't show up that much, but when he does show up, it is like very intense. Where it's like you have the flashbacks of Carmen, where it's like he's working at the restaurant, and then David Fields is just making, like, just constantly insulting him, telling him that he's like a worthless piece of shit. So, yeah. And so I think Joel McHale is a good actor, and so not a lot of community actors, but you have Joel McHale here. You have the person that plays, I think her name is Tina Jillian, something like that. Let me see here. Jillian Jacobs, yeah, that plays Tiff, yeah. So I do think that he is good. When Carmen confronts him at the end of season 3, I think it's a great scene, and overall, I do think that he is a good character. Luca, I will give Luca, I'll give him like bottom of B tier. I do think that he's good, but it kind of feels like he has nothing to do. It's like he mentored Marcus in Copenhagen, like teaching him some stuff about teaching him some stuff about pastries and stuff, and then after that he kind of like shows up here and there, like when there's the funeral meal for that restaurant owned by what was her name, this chef lady, I forgot her name, Terry, right? I'm getting that right. Guest star. She is a guest. She's a current. Yeah, Terry, yeah, Chef Terry, right? Andrea Terry. Yeah, this is, but played by Olivia Colman. Yeah, so he kind of shows up here and there, and then eventually he does end up working at the Bear because he just decides to stay in Chicago. So it just doesn't feel like really his character like has anything like going on right now. Like I don't see what his character is progressing to. So This guy, I think he's just another guy that just works at the beef, so I don't really care for him, so I'm going to just put him at, don't remember, so yeah. Marcus, I will give Marcus, I'll put him at, like, I don't know, I feel like similar to Luca, and to be honest, I feel like his character just doesn't really work as well for me. He had the most boring episode in the show up until this point, I think, with, where this whole episode with Marcus where he just goes to Copenhagen was extremely boring. He's just like a pastry chef. He's trying to learn to be a better pastry chef, and he is, I guess, slightly getting kind of interesting where it's like toward now in terms of like where the show's at, he is struggling with whether or not he wants to meet his father, who I guess was not really in his life, and he does end up getting named chef of the chef of the I forgot, like one of the biggest new top chefs or whatever, and so I do think that he is just, I don't know, right now at the moment it's just he's struggling with whether or not he wants to meet his father, and it's just not the most interesting like struggle that he's facing compared to some of the other characters, I feel like. So because that I don't really I think for how prominent of a character he is, I don't think he's as good as some of the other characters. So moving on, I don't know who this is, so I'm just going to put him in D/F tier. Mikey Berzotto, I'm going to give him A tier, and I'm going to give him a low A tier, maybe a high B tier. No, I'll say a low A tier. I do think that he is good. I think that he's like not really in the show too much. He does appear in flashbacks, and he is kind of a lot of the driving factor for a lot of the characters, where it's like he's kind of the center of the show. It kind of feels a bit like he's the center of the show, where it's like he's the reason for like how Carmi's the way he is, the reason why Nat is kind of the way she is, the reason why Donna ended up like so mentally not great. And so it's like everyone kind of knows this person who is like not in the show currently, but he is like he's like still a very important figure in the show as this like the brother of both Carmen and Natalie that ended up committing suicide. And yeah, because everyone still misses him, everyone still loves him, and he has good flashbacks. The episode with him and Tina, where it's like Tina ends up the Tina backstory episode, I thought was very good. And when she finally ends up meeting, when she meets Mikey, they end up having like a very good heart to heart. And so overall, I do think that he is a good character, but he is not in the show like too much. So low A tier, I'm going to say. This is Michelle. I think that was her name, right? Let's see here. This is, I don't know why I'm using Wikipedia, to be honest, but I don't really know what else to use. So Michelle Berzotto, yeah, I'm going to give her like, honestly, C tier. I don't really know what, like, she shows up like in the Berzotto episodes where it's like the fishes as well as the bears. So, but I don't know, she's just like, I don't really know what she does most of the time. She just like is kind of there. I think she maybe spoke with like Tiff during the wedding episode, but other than that, she is just not really that prominent, and I can't really tell you anything about her character. I think Carmen used to, like when he went to New York at the beginning of season 4, was it season 4 or season 3? I can't remember, but I think it was, it might have been season 3 actually, but anyway, he ended up going to New York to like stay with Michelle as well as John Mulaney's character, which I forgot once again. Why am I forgetting these names? I've never been good with names, but Stevie, yes, Stevie. So I'm just gonna give her C tier. I honestly don't really care for her character that much. I don't know who this guy is. I think probably just some guy. I think maybe it was at like the video game tournament in like season 1 or something like that. I don't remember. Pete, I'm gonna give okay. This is, I don't know what the picture is that they got a Pete here, but it's like what is going on here? So yeah, weird picture that they took. But I will say that Pete is a great character, and I do like him greatly, and I would probably say that he is, I'm not gonna go S tier, but I will say like top of A tier. I really do like his character. At the beginning, it's like they kind of, you see Pete, and he's like kind of like just this guy that no one really likes him at first, where it's like Carmen and Richie don't really want to talk to him in season 1, and as well as like Jimmy, I think, and then in Fishes, he kind of shows up with like the extra fishes, which ruins the tradition or whatever. But I do still really think that he is a great character. I love the scene. One of my favorite scenes in the show is with Donna and Pete, when it's like Pete is trying to comfort Donna, saying like, no, come into the restaurant, everything will be fine, and like Donna's crying, and Pete's saying like, okay, it's fine, I won't tell anyone. So I think he is great. His relationship with Natalie is good, and overall, just any scene that with him, I do very much like. He's like this very optimistic person, which is, I guess, kind of refreshing in a show where it's like everyone is so constantly stressed out, and so it's nice to have just some guy that's like, kind of calm and like positive about things. So Richie, I'm giving Richie S tier. I think that he is one of my favorite characters in the show. He is just a great character. His whole, like at the beginning, where it's like he is this very, not broken man, but he is like this guy that is very rough around the edges, where he is very aggressive, he curses a lot and stuff, and he's very kind of rude and disrespectful, and he's like going through a divorce with Tiffany and stuff, and he's like, he has a daughter that he cares about and stuff, but his best friend died and all this stuff is going on in his life. And then Carmi, he shows up, and then he's kind of like changing the beef around, and it's like he feels like he doesn't have a place left here, so he ends up working under Chef Terry and in this like restaurant job, and then he realizes the value of being able to like help people out and stuff, and it gives him like a new meaning and purpose in life, kind of, and he becomes like this really respectful dude, like wearing suits constantly, and I think it's great. But he's still like the same. Like even with his like new refined attitude, he still feels like he's still the same character, where it's like he still like curses a lot, and he still can get angry and stuff, which is good. It's great that they didn't just like completely overhaul his character. It's good development, I would say. So yeah, definite S tier. And I do like towards in season 4 specifically, like when you have him struggling with facing the fact that Tiffany is getting remarried. I thought that is good for him, and he's like slowly getting close with what's her name, the chef that he worked with, this one here, I forgot her name. I think it was, let's see here, recurring characters. It was, I am not going to find it here, but let's see, she's a recurring character, and she shows up in season 2, I think. It is Renee. It wasn't Renee, I think it was Jessica, yeah, it was Jessica. So he's like kind of, I think it's hinted that like he likes Jessica, and they're like kind of getting close, I think, so I'm interested to see where his character goes in season 5. Stevie, John Mulaney's character, once again, S tier, I would say. And I'm going to probably, I don't know which one I like better, but I do think I am going to give it to, honestly, maybe John Mulaney's character. I do really like Stevie. He's not in the show as much, so it's like when he is in the show, it feels like more of a treat. He has been so far in like, I think, 2 seasons, and then maybe he showed up for like 1 frame in season 3 or something, like the whatever season it was that Carmen stayed in New York, where it's like there was one season where it's like the first episode was completely just like showing Carmi like in New York, going through his days and stuff, like training under people and stuff. So I do think that he is great. He is this guy that in Fishes specifically, he's like kind of new to the family. He hasn't really been at one of the Berzado dinners yet, and so he's new to all. He's experiencing all the chaos and stuff, and it's like he's kind of but he's like this nice guy that's like a bit awkward and stuff. And it's like when you see him again in the wedding episode, the Bears in season 4, he is like kind of he likes it. Like he says like he says, you know, it's always fun. It's always really fun being with the Berzados and stuff. I think John Mulaney, just in general, he's a very charismatic actor, and you know, so it's very entertaining to watch him and stuff. So I think out of all the cameos, maybe not, he doesn't have the best cameo, but he has one of the best. It's not really a cameo, I guess, because he's a recurring character. So, but he is definitely one of the best actors in the show, just to watch from like a entertaining perspective. So I do think that, yeah, he is definitely an S tier character, and I like it any time that he is on screen. So this is Natalie, and I'm going to give Natalie, I'm going to give her B tier, and I'm going to say that she's better than Marcus. I will say that she's better than Will. She is better than Abram and better than Sweeps, and I'll probably say she's better than Claire as well. I'm just going to put her top of B tier. I think that she's good. She definitely has a lot going on with her character, where it's like a relationship with her mom, her relationship with in season 4, I guess, with Franny Fack, and also a relationship with Carmen, I guess, as well as like her having a child in season 4. So she has a lot of stuff going on, but doesn't really feel like she has like a central thing that she's like kind of working towards, where it's like other characters. I guess not. There are other characters that like also don't really have, but it just kind of feels like she's always around and stuff. But she is, I guess, helping to run the Bear, I guess. But I don't know. She doesn't feel like as memorable. Not memorable. Like she's a pretty memorable character, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, I don't consider her to be an A tier character, but I do think that she's like a definite top of B tier character. I do think that she is still a good character, but I don't know, she had like one of the worst episodes with like her and Donna at the hospital, went on way too long and stuff. But I do think that her character is good. You know, she's able to like express anger and stuff, and she's able to express a lot of good emotions, and so I'm just gonna give her like top of B tier, I'd say. Sid, I'm going to say A tier, and I'm going to say that she's better than I don't know, I would say maybe, is she better than Fack? Yeah, probably better than Fack. Is she better than Carmi? Probably not better than Carmi. I do think that she is very good, and I actually do like her. I liked her solo episode in season 4, where it's like she is hanging out with her cousin, as well as her cousin's daughter, which would be her second cousin, or maybe cousin once removed, something like that. I don't remember how it works, but yeah, she's good. She does face like the tough decision of whether or not she wants to stay at the Bear or leave to work with Adam Shapiro, and she would basically run her own restaurant, and she is struggling with that decision throughout the entirety of season 4, and then eventually she decides that she wants to stay. She does the actress of Sid, I forgot her name, let's see here, yeah, Aoi Edebiri, yeah, she has a good performance, and I do think like her crying scene at the hospital when her father gets a heart attack, I thought was great. And overall, yeah, she is a good character. She is, I think technically she would be the deuteragonist of the show. Yeah, so I think she does a good job of that, of like also like how she her relationship with Carmen is good, where it's like Carmen is like not a good person when it comes to communicating and stuff, and she towards the end where it's like of season 4, where she is basically, she fights with Carmen, and it's like she gets really upset with Carmen because of the fact that he's leaving, and then Carmen like basically says like, I know that you also like you were planning to leave or something like that, and I thought basically her relationship with Carmen was good, and so overall I'd give her like a mid A tier. I would say I think that she is a good deuteragonist. This is Terry, and I would give her like honestly C tier probably as well, like I guess a bit above Michelle, but I don't know, she's like not really in the show too much, and when she is, she's kind of like meant to be a guiding figure for the characters. Like she helps out Richie, I guess she helps out everyone working at Ever, I think it was the name of a restaurant, and she helps out Carmen and stuff, and but she doesn't really, she's not in the actual show too much. She just kind of shows up here and there for like I guess to give some guidance to some characters, but other than that she's not the most memorable. So I'm just gonna say top of C tier. I don't really care for her too much. This is Tina, is that her name? Tiff. I keep thinking Tina. I don't know what. Tina is the name of the other character. I keep getting their names confused here. Yeah, Tiffany. Yeah. I would give her, I don't know, I like B tier, and I'd go above Luca, I'd say. I think she's good. Like, it's nice. At first, like, she is the wife of Richie, but then they end up getting divorced, but then it's like they're still close and stuff, and because she doesn't really have a family of her own, she still kind of considers the Brazados her family because through Richie, I guess. So it is still nice that she is that close with the Brazados, and I think that she had one of the best scenes with Jimmy, like Uncle Jimmy, where she basically says like Uncle Jimmy's like you're out of luck because there's nothing you can ever do to not be a Brazado. I thought that was a very sweet scene, and so yeah, overall I'd say like about mid B tier. She's a good character, she has some good scenes, and but she's not in the show that often. So Tina, I will give Tina I'll go like, yeah, top of B tier, I think. I think she's a good character, but she really, I don't know, it feels like most of the show she's just like, especially towards season 4, just a lot of her character is just trying to, she's trying to like get better at cooking, like cook faster and stuff like that, and it's just not the most entertaining aspect to focus on. But, you know, she's still a good character. I do like the backstory. I think she has one of the best backstory episodes out of any of the characters, and like solo episodes, not backstory. There aren't really too many backstory episodes, but there are a lot of solo episodes. Like Sid had one, Marcus had one. Tina, I thought it was a good one, where it's like she's trying to find a job and she can't find a job, and then eventually she ends up going to the beef and she meets Mikey, and it was a very good talk that they had. And yeah, so I think that she is I think she's a good character. I would say top of B tier, I'd say. So Jimmy, I would give Jimmy S tier, and above Richie, I would say, and honestly probably above yeah, Stevie as well. I do think that Jimmy is maybe my favorite character, to be honest. I do like every scene with him. It's like he is very much, my favorite thing about this show is like the business side of things as well as the Brazado side of things, and he is like the personification of all that. He is like, when you think of like business, you think of Jimmy, and like he is one of the primary Brazados, it feels like. So definitely I like his character. Everything to do with him, it's like always scenes that have to do with business, which I really do like as well. He not even just that, he also has good heart-to-heart scenes with Tiffany. He had one with Carmen. I think he had one with Richie as well. And so he does have like some good heart-to-heart scenes with certain characters, which I think is great. And so overall, I would say definite S tier character. I would say, but one of my favorite in the show. This is Uncle Lee, and I would give him honestly like B tier, probably like, yeah, I don't know, I'll say like maybe better than Tiffany. Honestly, this is one of Bob Odenkirk's I'm not even gonna say like weakest performances. Like I think his performance is not an issue. It's like a good performance, I would say, but I think just characters for Bob Odenkirk, I think he's better at playing like, he plays like more eccentric characters. He played like obviously Saul Goodman. He was in like Mr. Show and stuff. He voiced that dude from Incredibles 2, and so he's better at playing more eccentric characters, and this is like much more a more aggressive, angrier character, which he can play like angry characters, but I don't know, just Uncle Lee, like his whole thing was that he fought with Mikey throughout the Christmas episode in season 2, and then he shows up again in the Bears in season 4, episode 7, where, sorry about that. So it's fine, it's not like bad, but I would say that it is not really my favorite role that I've seen Bob Odenkirk in, but I do think, yeah, just mainly his character, just he fights with Mikey, and he, you know, he talks with like Carmen in one scene, and it's like all his character does. So it's like, you know, Bob Odenkirk, a good actor, but just his character in general, like, didn't do too much for me to rank him any higher. So this is Sid's father, and Sid's father, I would give him, I would say, like, honestly, an A tier. I do think that he is a great supporting father, and I would give him, I'll put him like, I'll put him below Mikey. I do think that he is, you know, he's a good character. He's like, every scene with him is basically him trying to comfort Sid, and so it's good. He's like a good father, and it is basically just that he's trying to comfort Sid, but even so, like, he does a good job at that, and I think that the actor it's very sweet, like all the scenes with like him and Sid, Sid like even crying over him, like after obviously he gets a heart attack, and Sid like cries over him. It like really shows how good their relationship is, and so I do think that he is a great character. So this is Theodore Thack, I think that's his name. Let's see here, recurring characters. It's gonna be so difficult. Wait, actually, here, okay, I found here Teddy Thack. I would give him like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say C tier, but like B tier above. Yeah, sure, above Luca. He's fine. He's kind of like just like, he feels a bit too much similar to Neil, except he's just like, he's like kind of like the diet version of Neil, and so I like Neil more. So he shows up, I think, towards season, I don't think it was season 2, I think it might have been season 3, but he's just basically Neil's brother, I think, or maybe it was his, actually no, he was in the Christmas episode, I think. So but yeah, originally it's like just Neil in season 1, but then he shows up, and he's fine, he's like not bad or anything, but it just feels like they're kind of trying to copy Neil, and I like the facts, they all kind of act the same way, but it just feels like he's too similar to Neil. So because of that, I'm just gonna say yeah, like low B tier, I'd say. So this is I forgot his name is Garrett, was that his name? Let me see here. Yeah, Garrett. I would give him like, I don't know, C tier. I don't really care for him, to be honest. I would give him, I guess I liked him a bit better than Michelle, and I don't think I liked him more than Terry. He was fine. I thought that he's just kind of the one that basically spoke with Richie and basically said like, hey, this is like it's like a very important thing that we're doing, like like customer service. It's like much more, I don't know, I forgot what he said. Basically, it was like, it's much more valuable than anything customer service and stuff like that. Like, it's good to, like, this gives, like, meaning, like, being able to help other people, like, enjoy their meals or whatever. And so, he was mainly just meant to be, like, a friend of Richie, and that's it. So, I didn't care for him too much. Adam Shapiro, I would give him C tier, and I don't really like his character. I'm just gonna give him, I don't know, he's meant to kind of be, I'm going to say bottom C tier, because he is meant to kind of be like an unlikable character. He's like a character that is trying to get Sid to leave the bear and work for him. And so because of that, like, you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, you want Sid to stay with the bear. Like, that is the choice that I think the writers want the viewers, like, you want, like, as a viewer of the show, you want Sid to stay with the bear. And so because of that, like, you don't like Adam because he's trying to, like, take Sid away from the bear. So because of that, like, his character is kind of meant to be unlikable, and I think they did a good job of doing so. So I don't like his character that much. So I'm gonna say C tier. Pretty much every time, like, his character is basically, initially he's like, Sid, you wanna, here, I can help you, like, I'll give you a restaurant to run, you can do it however you want, and like, this is good. And it's just like, yeah, I'll think about it and stuff. And then, like, he's basically every time he calls Sid constantly, like, asking like, hey, can we discuss like the restaurant and stuff. And that's just basically the entire thing of his character, until eventually Sid calls him and is like, basically like, I'm not gonna go through with this. So yeah. This dude, I added this dude. He is kind of just, I forgot his name, but he is just some guy that shows up he helps Abraham with the beef. And so let me see here. His name is Chi-Chi. Yeah, so I'm going to give him, I'll give him like B tier, and I'll give him like, I guess I liked him a bit better than Ted. So he's just a guy that works with Abraham at the beef, like just helping out and stuff. He's, you know, he's got like a nice eccentric personality, I'd say. So mid B tier. This is the computer, and I would give him like I'll give him like I think that's good. I think I liked him a bit more than Uncle Lee. He is this guy that is a friend of Jimmy's, and he is the one that he's basically just the one that's like helping Uncle Jimmy with the business side of things, like explaining like, okay, this is what you need to be profitable. This is like these are your expenses, like you need to cut some of this stuff, like it's too expensive and stuff. And it's like he installs the clock basically of how much time they have until they lose their parachute, which I didn't fully understand what it meant, like when the clock runs out, but I think it means like that's when Jimmy is not going to be supporting them financially anymore, something like that. So he's good. I think he was a good character, you know, for however much he was in. Let's see here, Terry. Terry, I'm going to Wait, okay, I guess I added Terry twice. I guess I included a picture of Terry even though she was already in the tier list. So, okay, I'm going to just, here, I'll put her next to the one I already did because didn't mean to do that, whatever. Let's hear, this is, I forgot his name, it is Albert Schner. Yeah, I'm going to give him, I'll put him like next to the computer, a bit above, I would say, and below Abram, I'd say. I think he's like the guy that's trying to help out Abram, like with his saying like, okay, you got to expand, like open up some new restaurants to be able to like generate more profit and stuff. So he's mainly just trying to help Abram with the business side of things going on with the beef, and he's fine. He has like a nice scene with the computer where it's like they talk about I don't know, finances or whatever, and so he's a fine character. I'd say like mid B tier. Not much to say about him. Hopefully we see more of him in season 5, I guess. So Frank, I would give I don't care about him too much, but I would say that he is like, honestly, I'll give him like bottom of B tier. I don't really, yeah, every time, honestly, not even bottom of B tier. I'll give him like bottom of top of C tier. I don't know. He's just like, he's in the wedding episode, and besides that, like every time we see him, it's just like meant to be. He's meant to be like not an enemy of Richard's, but it's like someone that Richard feels uncomfortable near because it's like the stepfather of Richard's daughter. So yeah, it's just meant to like create some conflict between like give Richie some development, it feels like. And in the wedding episode, it's like he's supposed to dance with Richie's daughter, and so he's fine. I thought like he's not a bad character or anything, but just not really one that I like that much. So top of C tier. John Cena, Sammy Fact, I'm gonna give him S tier. He's not in the show for too long, so I'm gonna give him bottom S tier, but I do think that this is one of the best cameos in the show. Just not expected. You didn't expect John Cena to be in this, and then he is in this as Sammy Fact, and he's one of the Fact brothers, and so, you know, very, very fun cameo to have. He's in like one scene only, helping set up something for like a picture for a viewer or whatever, so he's not in the show too much. He's in like one scene. Hopefully we get to see more of him at some point in the future. But yeah, so I'm just gonna say bottom of S tier. This was Sid's cousin. I forgot her name though. It was let's see here. She is in season 4, and she is she a guest character? Here's Daniela Deadweiler. She is Sydney's cousin. So I'm going to give her A tier. I'll give her A tier, like as. Actually, I don't know. She's not really in the episode too much. She just kind of like gives Sid a haircut, and then afterwards she kind of leaves for most of the episode, and then it's meant to be like Sid speaking with her daughter. So I'll give her like I'm not gonna give her like A tier, but I'll give her like B tier. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like bottom of B tier. She's a fine character. Like her scenes were fine, but she's just once again she's not really in the episode too much, so I can't really rank her higher than that. So yeah. This is Brie Larson's character, another interesting cameo that I was not expecting, and she is, Francie Fack, and I would give her somewhere B tier, I'd say, and I would go with better than her, better than Marcus, better than Luke. I don't know, I would say like, not as good as Luke, I'll say, like, yeah, she's good. I would say that it's interesting because I think up until this point, she was the character that we've waited the longest to see, like up until this point. We've heard like a lot of things about Francie Fack, and it's been since I think like around season 1 or 2 or something, they mentioned Francie, and it's like anytime they do that, anytime they mention a character, it's always like you think like, okay, I wonder who they're going to use, what celebrity cameo they'll use for this character. So I was interested to see who Francie Fack would end up being, because I figured like, okay, they're mentioning her name so much, this is going to probably be a prominent character, like a interesting celebrity cameo, and it ends up being Brie Larson, which I was not expecting, and you know, it's a nice surprise. So yeah, I would say like bottom of B tier, whole thing is just meant to be like she had the whole thing with her character is that she just has a conflict with Natalie. It's not really explained what the conflict is. So I think they like hinted that they slept together or something. So, and then I think one of them ended up leaving or something like that. I don't know what really happened, but so she basically fights with Natalie, and then towards the end of the episode, the wedding episode in season 4, they end up making up, and then they're all good again. So, you know, a fine character, but she's not really in the show too much. So, and then finally we have Jessica. Was that her name? I think I'm getting that right. Jessica, I would say she is I would go like B tier, and I would go, do I like her better than Ibrahim? Yeah, I do, I think. And do I like her better than Sweeps? Yeah, maybe. And do I like her better than Claire? I'm gonna say no. I think that she is she's a good character. She's actually pretty similar to Claire, where she's kind of just like the love interest for Richie. I think she is meant to be the love interest for Richie. They work together at Ever, and then Richie ended up coming back to the Bear, and then she ends up getting hired along with the rest of some of the crew that worked at the Ever. And she is basically just the one in charge of like running the Bear smoothly, trying to like create order with stuff, like, and create a system where it's like things aren't as chaotic and stuff. And so yeah, but she is like a good character. I hope that they develop her a bit more in season 5, because we don't really see too much of her character, so it would be nice to see a bit more of her in season 5. But yeah, so this is my tier list of the Bear characters. I think the trend is probably, I did mention this with my sister, where it's like I do kind of like the Berzado characters a bit more than like some of the rest of the characters. I think that the Berzado characters are like my favorite characters. So you have like obviously Carmen, Donna, Richie, Jimmy, Stevie, Pete, Sammy, like anyone that has like ties, I guess, to the Berzados. And then there's like some characters down here that it's like well, I guess you could say like here, okay, not exactly, but like the trend is usually like if they're a Berzado character, they'll be like higher up on the list. And I still do like the other characters, like here, some of these characters here, they're like not exactly related as much to the Berzados, so they're like lower, I guess, on the list. But yeah, anyway, so this is my tier list of the Bear characters. I think when season 5 comes out, I will watch it, do a review for that, and then I will do an update video for the characters. But yeah, with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, web series, anything that you want me to review or rank or compare rankings, it doesn't have to be meter related. It can be anything. Leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.